Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2009 BMW 328i xDrive. Up front is a 3.0 liter inline 6, and down below is a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this here 328i for a couple of reasons. First of all, I haven't driven this chassis in a while. This is the E90 chassis from BMW, and it's been a little while since I've driven one of these, so it's always fun to sort of refresh my memory on what these are like. The other reason is the fact that this is the naturally aspirated model, and we'll have a lot to talk about with that. But before we get on to anything else, I have a website, zackpradel.com, where you can buy stickers like this retro sticker pack or big friggin' bottle sticker, both with free shipping. You could also submit your own vehicle to be reviewed by me through a quick and easy submission form, and you could read my behind the scenes blog to see what I'm filming before it comes out on the channel. But let's get back to that 3-liter straight 6 under the hood, known as the N52. Well, it only makes about 230 horsepower, which isn't anything crazy, especially in terms of the 3 Series from BMW. However, it is non-turbo, so it doesn't have a turbo to help out with that horsepower, but also it doesn't have that turbo to fail you. Less parts means less reliability issues, and so from what I've heard and what I've seen, this straight 6 is actually really reliable. And so if you want reliable transportation, but also a BMW and some luxury features, this is a solid option. Continuing with that reliability ideal, the 6-speed automatic is pretty good as well. This is before they made the jump to the 8-speed automatic. It's just a simple, straightforward box. Nothing really to write home about, and that's actually sometimes pretty good. Last but not least, this is the xDrive, meaning it is all-wheel drive, which definitely helps out. However, you could still find these in rear-wheel drive. With that out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 2 gauges and a little screen. On the left is my speedometer and fuel. On the right is my tachometer and MPG. Then in the center, I get my outside temperature, time of day, gear, and odometer. I love these simple gauges, super easy to read, and BMW has been known for that for the last 40 years at least. On the steering wheel on the left, I have my volume, voice commands, and phone options. And on the right, I do have skip track, but I also have this little circular arrow button. This is controls for the climate controls. I love this. They need to bring this back in cars, having climate control options on the steering wheel. One of my favorite features in any car, and I'm happy to report that the 328i has that feature. The overall look and feel of the steering wheel is very nice. It's a little dated by now, but that's okay. It's 13 years old. It's going to be. Off to the left, I do have a climate control vent and my headlights, and then on the door, I have my power mirrors and power window options. Moving into the center, I have 2 climate control vents with the lock, traction control, and hazard switch. And then I have my BMW professional radio. The early E46s used to say business CD. Now this says BMW professional. Beamers never fail to make me feel cool. However, it's a pretty simple radio, solid sound system, sounds great, and it does have a CD player. Off to the right of that radio, by the passenger airbag, I do have cup holders. They come out of the dash, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test. These notoriously break very often. They are somewhat flimsy, but it's not even that. It's just the idea of them being able to move and hold a heavy cup is just not a great idea, and so these break all the time, so I'm not even gonna try this with the big friggin' bottle. It fails. I knew it would. That's no surprise. But the 328i from 2009 does fail the big friggin' bottle test. Then we have our climate controls. Dual zone climate is very nice, fan speed, and of course heated seats. All fantastic features here for the 328. As well as I do have hill descent control in the center by the heated seats. Very odd option for a sedan like this. I don't know if I've seen that in a car this small and meant for on-road use, but that's okay. Then I do get a little cubby just for storage, and then we have the shifter itself. The shifter is dated as well, one of the few other dated parts of this car. There's not many, but the steering wheel and shifter do look a little bit older. Like I said, paired to that 6-speed, nothing crazy. And I do like to click into gear, and I can put it into manual and sport mode. Then I get another extra little cubby in the center, and then I get my center console, which actually holds the only 12-volt outlet in the entire car. Kind of strange that BMW only gives you one. Now we gotta talk about the seats. Like I said, they are heated as well as they are power. You know, the 328i was the lower end of the 3 Series collection in 2009. So to see the heated seats and power seat options, very, very nice on this here 3 Series. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2009 BMW 328i xDrive, and the back seats aren't amazing. Now, they're not horrible, but that's to be expected out of a 3 Series. The 3 Series has always been the smaller chassis from BMW. Not always the smallest. They've had the 1 Series and 2 Series, but the 3 Series still isn't big. Think maybe Honda Accord, maybe Toyota Camry size. I think everyone just has this bigger idea, myself included, that the 328i is this big, huge car, and it's really not. However, knee room is pretty good. Headroom is okay. My hair is starting to touch the ceiling a little bit, but not that big of a deal. The seats are pretty comfortable. I do have my own vents back here, which is very, very nice. And I do get a center console. We can pull this out, and I do have cup holders that pop out of there as well. Very, very nice. Let's hop around back. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, so we're on the back of the 328i. I do have a trunk release here on the key. There we go. Then you can just pull this up. Pretty good sized trunk for a vehicle this size. Pretty happy with that. I do love these BMW roadside assistance stickers that you get, and this is actually the original owner's manual and such. But something interesting that the owner actually pointed out to me is that I do get what would be a spare tire well, but it's actually just more storage, which is helpful. You know, you can put groceries in here, things you don't want to roll around. You want to put the eggs in here so they don't shatter. That's great. But you also don't get a spare tire, unfortunately, for the 328i, which that's okay, but that is the trunk of the 328. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and this is where the car still feels pretty modern. For a 13-year-old vehicle, I do have to say this looks pretty freaking good. I think it's proportioned really, really well. I think the headlights and grille are styled really well. And the E90 chassis overall, whether that be an E91, E92, or E93, or E90, I think they all just really look fantastic and have aged very, very gracefully. One last thing about the exterior, and this doesn't actually have to do with this car. I took these exterior shots at the world's second largest rocking chair. Yeah, this is the second largest rocking chair in the world. Apparently it used to be the first, but then someone made it their personal goal to build the biggest one. So now this is the second largest. It's on Route 66 in Missouri. I find that hilarious. It's number 2. So, you know, there's that. But now let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving this 328i from 2009? Well, I have to say it's all good things. First of all, I love the way it drives. It doesn't have all the power in the world, but it's still a peppy, fun 6-cylinder sedan. That's great. The steering is somewhat heavy but direct. Visibility's good. And I just got passed by a Buick, I think an Enclave, with a sticker on the back that says, "Warning, senior citizen driving." I guess I gotta pick it up in these reviews, jeez. But driving this car, it's fun, it's engaging, even without a manual transmission, and that's what I love. The all-wheel drive helps out as well. But really, the swan song, the creme de la creme, the pièce de résistance, or however you say it, I don't really know how to say it, is the engine and transmission. As far as BMWs go, this is the dead reliable option. I think it's helped out by the fact that you can't really modify a 328i all that much. Since it is just an NA straight 6, you can't put more boost into it with a boost controller. People don't really modify these because you just get the 335i and then you modify that, and you can make all the power in the world out of the N54. So I think that helps the reliability case of this car, is that you don't really modify this. You leave this as BMW intended, and it works as BMW intended. And that is a huge selling point to me for the 328i. This is as reliable as the Germans can do, and I have to say, I think they did a pretty good job with this one. Huge thank you to Daniel for letting me take out his 328i. This thing is fantastic. I know he's going to have a great time owning it. He has a couple plans for it, modifying it and such like anyone does, but he'll be happy to know that it probably won't spontaneously combust on him, which is a big plus for cars. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.